And one of the most difficult parts about working there at that Family Reunification Center is that they give the names of those who are accounted for. As Lisa reported, 102 names. That would be the great news. Can you imagine being there and wanting to hear that name? Suddenly you do hear the name, the relief that you feel. But on the other hand, can you imagine what it's like for those who are still waiting to hear those names? CBS 4's Joan Murray is also joining us from the Family Reunification Center with more of the stories that are coming out of there. Joan?
Well, Elliot, just a heart-wrenching day, as Lisa explained. You can see behind me in the breezeway all day long, dozens and dozens of people showing up here, still waiting for information about their loved ones.
We can't ever imagine anything like this happening here.
The desperate search for information and answers played out all day at the Surfside Community Center, a few blocks north of the partially collapsed Champlain Towers.
I'm looking for Cassandra Stratton. I'm going to show you a photo.
Cassandra Stratton. And how old is Cassandra?
She's 40 years old.
Beautiful woman.
Oh, I'm just a local resident, just dropping off a donation.
Total strangers dropped off food and clothing at the center, where survivors of the catastrophe and evacuated visitors from a hotel next door were taken following the disaster.
They say that there's not going to be much coming out at the moment, so I would like to hear, but I'm hoping for good news.
And Sofia Lopez Moreira.
Friends and family waiting for news on 47-year-old Sofia Lopez Moreira visiting with her children from Uruguay.
She came here 3 days ago with the 3 little girls that she has for vacations. And the family is traveling from Uruguay to here, but they haven't contacted her yet. So they need to know if she's good or in a hospital.
The family of Marina Azen wants to know the same. She's lived in the collapsed condo for 2 decades.
The detectives mentioned that there were 3 people that were deceased at the moment that have been reported, and she's not one of them. So we're hoping that she is in one of the hospitals. It feels like a horrible nightmare, you know? It's not for real.
The family of Maricoy and Claudio Bonifay, who are missing, went to the collapsed building, got to look at what was left. Upset, they were not seeing any search for survivors in the rubble on the ground.
We see it in the news all the time around the world where they find people sometimes after a couple of days. Why not start now? It happened about 9 or 10 hours ago. If they think it's not safe enough to go into the building, I get it. But at least the rubble should be, explored.
And we understand at this point that search and rescue is now trying to look through that area of the rubble that is on the ground. We were also told by the Bonifay family that Claudio Bonifay is actually a relative of the former president of Chile, so you can see a lot of prominent people connected to that partially collapsed building. It's going to be a long afternoon and even longer evening for all the people waiting here. We'll bring you information as it becomes available. Reporting live in Surfside, Joan Murray, CBS 4 News.
Joan Murray, thank you. And as we